Welcome back to another video. My name is Carlos, and today we're going to be talking about low torque, zero torque putters. Is this for you? Things to consider before you jump into this world. There's a lot to know, a lot of engineering science that has gone behind these things, but just because a lot of R&D and a lot of great minds have come together to make these products, these low torque, zero torque putters like Lab, Taylormade, and so many brands. It feels like every brand now is coming out with some form of zero torque, low torque putters, does not mean that it's for everybody. Let me explain. Let's get right into the video. All right, so just to give you guys some context, I feel like this context is helpful for you guys to understand where I'm coming from and not just the guy that just pulled one off the shelf last week or just got this and, is just spitting a bunch of stuff to get views on YouTube. I have put some reps into these. I put probably a solid 2 weeks. That's about, for me, around six-ish rounds in this guy, the TaylorMade Spider Zero Torque Putter. I have the 34-inch number one, which is like they have the three dots, right? So they have the standard, they have the three dot counterbalance, and then they also have the sweeper or the big long putter. And I went with the standard 34. It's the most traditional and most suited for what I currently do. So I wanted to kind of compare apples to apples, right? I'm not going to go over there and try like a sweeper all of a sudden. That just wouldn't fit my game and wouldn't make much sense. So currently, my gamer is a 34-inch Odyssey Versa number 7S. So I have a little bit of a slant neck. You can see there is the shaft slightly in front of the face. So there is the Versa 7S, and I've absolutely loved this guy. I am guilty to say, like, I had one of my best rounds. I had this, I was shooting phenomenally, and I had multiple multiple one putts with this guy right here, but the hype got to me. So originally, I actually didn't get the TaylorMade Spider ZT. I got the Lab Oz 1i, 34-inch, 2 degrees of shaft lean. And I liked it. There were some things I liked, but I felt like I was just struggling with the distance control. And that is the first topic that I wanted to get to because distance control is what people struggle with. That's the hardest thing about getting into a lie angle balance or low torque putter is just the off center hits. Rick Shields, I've heard him say this, and multiple other people on YouTube is things outside, your 25 to 55 foot putts. There's a little bit more variance of where your ball impact is on the face, right? And when you're slightly toe or heel side, you feel that face kind of like twist because if you look at this putter, it's a center shafted putter, right? They have to put it into that center of mass and center of weight so that they can make it low torque or perfectly balanced. And so with it going into the center, it's basically sitting right behind the sweet spot of the face. And the issue with that is if you hit out the toe, they say, a lot of them are in a mallet style that it's supposed to be weighted properly and you can hit out the toe, hit out the heel, and you're going to lose nothing. I feel like that's a little bit of marketing because when you hit it out the toe slightly, there is a little bit of wiggle with just how this is shafted. That's the way that's going to be. There's going to be some deflection of that putter. And so I struggled with the longer putts. Where with my Versa 7, and you could say, like, well, you've put in more reps with this guy. And yeah, I also do have a Tour 5.0 enormous grip on there, but that's aside the point. I just feel like I can control distance control a little bit better with my standard putter. So that's something to keep in mind is those longer putts, they are a little tricky and you're going to have to put a lot of reps and a lot of time into a low torque putter. I have gone back. So I'm going to jump back a little bit. I went from my Versa 7 to a Lab Oz 1i for about 2 weeks, hit it around, but then the TaylorMade came out. So I purchased that and actually returned or did a 90-day at my local big box store, did a 90-day, gave the Lab back and got the TaylorMade Spider Zero Torque. Just wanted to test them. The one that I originally had my eyes on was this one, but there was actually a Lab. I was just, going through the store one day as us addicted golfers do, and I saw a Lab Oz 1i just stock off the shelf, but it was a used one in great shape for $390, which is, a little bit less than they actually go for retail. So I was like, let me try this thing out. Tried it. There were some things I liked, but ultimately returned it. Then I got this guy. And now I wanted to talk about some of my pros, cons, beefs that I have with it, and why ultimately it's not going in the bag. It's a good putter. There's a lot of good things. Spider is all over the tour, and so many just regular players, your club players. There's so many people playing Spider putters, but there's a few things that I don't like, and I'm gonna break those down now. So initially, I really liked the head shape. I thought there were so many things. I love the design of it. This blue on the bottom. It's a great looking putter. I was super excited to have it in the bag, but there are a few things that I'm struggling with. One, I think having this small little alignment here and nothing else, and it just being black back here, I'm usually somebody that likes to see a bit more. And so hence why I got something like the Versa. There's a lot of contrast. It helps you with alignment on the face. It's just easier for me to align something with this much visual reference and confidence, right? I was struggling with alignment with this guy, and that is one of the big ones. I do like that they changed, having this leading edge being being it silver to the back being black. That is helpful, but this small alignment aid on the top just wasn't enough for me. I wanted a little bit more, so I struggled with alignment there. I will say this putter feels very good within 15 to, 5 feet in that short range, 15 and in. It's pretty solid. I did enjoy it, and I think that there was some really good confidence there. But again, the distance struggles, didn't really like that. And another thing that so many people talk highly about, but I'm just not a big fan. And maybe it was just kind of my first couple experiences kind of turned me off to the pure roll insert. Reason being is like, look at this. You can see right there, you can see the wear and tear marks pretty heavily on this face. And this is 2 weeks of putting with this guy. Reason being is the first time I bring this out on the course, punched greens. They are aerating greens. And I was like, okay, that sucks, but what can you do? I wasn't judging that, and that's not the reason that the putter didn't make it in the bag. I gave it a chance, and I waited till those greens got, fully back to speed and back up to my course's rolling speeds. But something that was absolutely driving me nuts is those grains of sand when they sand the greens getting stuck in this pure roll face. For those of you that don't know, the pure roll face actually has these little slits, and they're coming in at between like a 35-45 degree angle, and they're going upwards in the face. And they say this helps with roll, helps keep the ball down and from hopping and things like that. And that's totally fine. I understand that that's the performance and what you guys want to do with the pure roll face, but it was driving me nuts because every putt I was getting grains of sand like lodged inside there. And it was like right on my impact zone. And so if I wasn't sitting there grabbing a tee, using my thumb, or trying to scrape these grains of sand, it was going to eat up the face and wear it down super fast. And even after the sand kind of calmed down after a week or two, I was still getting grains of sand stuck on putting greens and things, and just debris stuck in the face. And like I could see it wearing down. Like it's going to be hard for you guys to see, but on probably the fourth groove up, there's like a little notch taken out of the face from, I think, where a piece of sand wedged in there. And so I was like, man, I that was driving me nuts and frustrating me a lot with this putter. So keep that in mind. If you play a course that isn't always in pristine condition, or there are some sandy conditions, or little grain and rocks and things around greens or on greens, that's something that can happen. Compared to something like my Odyssey White Hot Face, I've been using this putter for 2.5, 3 years, and it is still in such good shape. Like, I'm going to move it around just so you guys can kind of see, but there really is. Let me see if I can get it in focus. Obviously, you can see the paint's chipping and stuff, but the face itself is in great shape. I was worried. I'm like, I don't want to keep that pure roll face if it's just going to fall apart every time greens are getting punched, or I have to sit there and scrape things out. So I didn't like that pure roll face. I thought the contact was fine. I did struggle with it going a bit short, and they say it's soft and all these things, but I come from a white hot, so that's a soft face. So I thought I would be able to get along with distance control. Really, really struggled. And I actually did better with the Odyssey. I actually did better with the Lab Oz 1i with the metal insert, I did better than I did with this TaylorMade. So that's ultimately why it's not making it in the bag. I'm not totally out of the low torque, zero torque world though. I am interested and I'm still very intrigued by the science and the technology that has gone into this. And so now let's take a look. I want to show you guys what I built and what I'm thinking of going into. We'll see if it works for me. I think this is the way to go. I think with Lab having all the technology that they do, you got to take advantage of that and really make something customized for you. Something that's going to work to give it the best shot. So here's what I did in my custom build that's going to be coming soon. So here is our build. I was debating between going with the charcoal or the black. And yeah, ended up going black. I think it's just what I like to see. I also wanted the contrast because one of the big things that I talked about was how contrast is a big emphasis for me. And I was worried that switching to this charcoal face when it gets like sunny and the sun's really beating down on the club head, that the white and charcoal wouldn't have enough of a contrast. And so I liked the black to white contrast, just giving me more visual confidence when I'm standing over a putt that I don't feel 100% on. And next thing that I want to talk about is my choice in, let me pull one out really quick. My choice in alignment. So I actually do like this double line with a triple track. Like I use a double line and then I use usually the writing on the golf ball. See if I can get some. Yeah, see. So it's kind of like a modified triple track. And so I thought that this alignment aid setup was perfect for what I'm trying to do. I almost went with this slightly skinnier option. It just seemed a bit too busy when I moved it in, and so I ended up going with the one that's wider. So these outside lines are probably going to be closer to the outside of the ball, and then that one's going to line up with the center of my ball. But it kind of gives me like this track to putt on, and I liked it. A couple of things too is with Lab, you do have the option to do their online fitting if you're not close to a lab fitting, a place that's set to do lab fittings. I just did the online one and I actually did it 2 times with 2 separate people using 2 separate videos to see where they would fall. And they were pretty dang close. I do have the notes here on exactly what I got, but a 35-inch at 66 lie angle. I do have my hands a little bit low, but my eye line is just inside the ball of hair. And so it's perfect. And it was cool because one person gave me 66 and the other person gave me 65, where most standard putters are at a 69 to 70 degree lie angle. So that is dramatically different and might help me a lot in my putting to have something that is more set up for my type of lie angle. I do play left hand low, which does promote having a more aggressive lie angle of slightly lower than your standard 69 to 70 degrees. So I'm very excited. I usually am doing a 34. I do like a shorter putter. I don't like doing a long putter. I am 5'9 and a half, and I will count that half inch every time. But yeah, I'm excited. So I'm not completely giving up on the zero torque, low torque world. I just want something that actually works for me. I haven't gotten along with the TaylorMade Spider Zero Torque. I did like the Oz 1i. And another thing with my putter that I did, it's I went to a zero shaft lean instead of the 2 degrees of forward press with, the grip that has that forward press into the grip. I went zero so I can go with a super stroke putter grip that I would like. And I think I am totally okay with having that face slightly ahead of me. So yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm not giving up on the zero torque world or anything like that. I think there's a lot of technology and I can't just completely push it aside. I'm really excited to try it, but I think having this custom lab putter with, 0 degrees of shaft lean compared to the stock one that I tried that I didn't really like the forward press, I really struggled with alignment there as well. I think having 0 degrees of press, a standard grip that I like for me, I'm going to go to the Super Stroke Tour 3.0 instead of the 5.0. I think that that's going to be a good middle ground and a good place to test. I'm really excited for what that putter has to offer. Again, Oz 1i, I do like the insert. I like that feel. It's different from a white hot face, but that little click, it feels nice off of that metal insert. So I'm really excited, guys. If you found this video informational, insightful, or you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Hit that like button so we can keep doing more videos like this, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.